It's been a wild week for Bitcoin, up, down, all around. Today we're taking a look at the chart and talking more about Bitcoin. What is going on? We recently saw a massive drop in the cryptocurrency market, and then all of a sudden Bitcoin starts rallying back. Breaking down the chart and talking more about Bitcoin cryptocurrency right here in this video, so make sure you guys stay tuned. What's going on, guys? Patrick here, and today we're talking about Bitcoin cryptocurrency. And I want to give you guys a little update on Interactive Brokers. They now allow you to trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and more right through the Interactive Brokers app. So if you have a Interactive Brokers account, you can now trade cryptocurrency. There's a link down below. You can learn more about it, learn more about the fees. They are the lowest fees that you're going to find in the industry. I'm telling you that right now. So check it out. Link down below. Click it. Let's get into the chart and talk more about Bitcoin. All right. So we're looking at the chart here on Bitcoin. You can see Bitcoin recently had a high up there at the $52,000 area. News came out, or it was kind of like sell the news type of event. El Salvador officially adopted Bitcoin on that date. And then, well, Bitcoin dropped from $52,000 down there to $43,000. So a $10,000 drop in about 24 hours. It was basically like the world was ending, and everybody at one point said that, Bitcoin was going to zero. And well, now they're like, well, maybe it's going back up. And you can see here on the chart, after it dropped down here to the $44,000 area, guess what? We bounced back like a bat coming out of a cave, out of hell or something. I don't know a good analogy or a good saying about this, but look at this thing. Bitcoin dropped from 52,000 down there to 44,000. It's now rallying back once again, trying to get back up towards that $50,000 area. What a insane move, to say the least. Everybody who got shaken out of this, or people who basically try to buy up here for the break over 50,000, that ended up dumping on this move. Well, look at that consolidation there at the $44,000 level. We've now pushed $48,270 today. I think the high so far was $48,458. So that's the insane move that just happened. Literally, look at this, from 53,000 down there to 44. So pretty much like a $10,000 move on that one daily candle. So woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. If you're trading Bitcoin, you could be trading Bitcoin. You could be capitalizing off this momentum if you got Interactive Brokers. So like I said, definitely check it out down below. It's really cool. You can trade Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, right through your trading Bitcoin, or not even Bitcoin, but trading right through your trading right through your Interactive Brokers app on your phone. You can do it. So if you've never really traded Bitcoin, well, there's some opportunity. And look at that. Buy the dip, sell the rip, my friends. Buy at 44, sell at 48. $4,000 profit. Let's go. All right. So staying focused here on the action so far. So the big thing that I want to focus on, number one, is the trend. What is the trend telling us, and what can we expect from here? So obviously we know $52,000 is going to be that resistance pretty much at that point, knowing, that we pushed up there to that $52,000 area and then got smacked back down. So next resistance really is going to be $50,000 to $52,000. We've got support, I would say, pretty strong there at the 44,000. If we can't hold 44,000, then we'd have that support down here again at that $38,000, and then support down here at $29,000 to $30,000. So we got a lot of support down here on Bitcoin at these levels. And what's interesting is if you look here, previous resistance there at that $43,000 level, and then guess what? That previous pullback, we had that pullback from the $52,000 level. We pulled all the way down here to the $43,000, bouncing off of that level, which was previous resistance. And I talk about this in a lot of different videos, how that previous resistance turning into support is always a very, very bullish indicator. Something that you really got to keep an eye on. You got to understand, like, hey, all right. When these things happen, when we get these pullbacks to resistance and then we bounce off of it, turning that resistance into support, that's very, very, very bullish. So interesting to see how this pulled back $10,000 down to that resistance and now is bouncing off of there. So not to like really harp on that, but I do like to kind of look at that and see like, wow, okay, That previous that's good. That's good to see. So right now we're breaking out of this kind of downward consolidation channel. We were in that channel for quite some time from May to August. We broke above there up to that 50,000 level. And the question now is, do we make kind of this higher low here and continue to push higher from at this point, which is obviously looking pretty good for a push back up here on this trend. So, if you go trend like that, pretty much just like, you could draw trend lines however you want, but at the end of the day, we're still holding that trend. And I guess, right now I would say we're basically in this channel here on this price movement. So we moved to the bottom of that channel now after pulling back. We kind of had that channel there, but we moved back into this channel. So our next target on Bitcoin really from here is if we do consolidate and move higher, we should expect a retest of the 52 level and then try to push up here, which kind of aligns perfectly for that $60,000 touch. So we would basically be like, I would think we would go like kind of maybe one of these. I wouldn't say like straight up, but maybe like, one of these, and then kind of one of these to push up to that $60,000 level. So kind of push up here, 52. That's kind of like right where that resistance is. Pull back again to that support, and then that would be our push up from there. So Bitcoin, that would be kind of the overall bullish momentum here for that move. If we can't hold, I would say, this $44,000 level, then it should look more, like this kind of, and then kind of retest and ding, ding, ding down to this level. So at the end of the day, we are always kind of, I think as traders, we're always seeing both sides of the play, the ups, the downs, the consolidation. Right now, obviously, Bitcoin looking very bullish. Even after that big, huge sell-off, I would say that this is looking more bullish with momentum in the market and all of that, and just how the world is going at a point where, fundamentals and the idea of something being overvalued or undervalued or anything at this point really just comes down to the FOMO and how much people are willing to pay and chase it and buy it. So that would basically be my play here. If we can't hold 44,000, I would expect a short, get a pullback, and then get short maybe up here if it retests that previous support. Because again, if that previous support turns into resistance, well, then that's going to be bearish, obviously, and then we'd get that pullback lower, and then vice versa. So right now, Bitcoin at that area, 48,000, that we got that previous resistance there. Really interesting. Like, I always like to kind of see how these price movements happen and how they move. If you were buying that dip the other day off of that big sell-off, that $10,000 sell-off, you could have been literally, if you were like, well, where do I want to be buying at on this dip? And I really, you could have said like, well, as long as if we pull back close to this previous resistance atop these candles, well, then I'm thinking about buying in the dip. So definitely interesting. If you're going to be buying the dip, you're going to be trading in general, you should be seeing these levels of support and resistance. But really, Bitcoin trying to rally up there right now, getting above the EMA clouds there and starting to trend back higher. So it'll be interesting to see how we end up the end of the week or the next few weeks here on Bitcoin, if we can continue this momentum and continue to push higher, or do we start to roll off again? But like I said, looking more on the bullish side than the short side as of right now. Ethereum, basically the same setup here as well. You can also trade Ethereum on Interactive Brokers as well. And you can see Ethereum kind of almost the same chart, breaking to the upside here on Ethereum, that hourly chart showing us that we've got some pretty good support there at the $3,200 area on Ethereum right now. That $3,200 to $3,100, $3,000 level support acting pretty strong there and trying to push back up to the upside. Big sell-off there from that $39,000 area down there to $3,000, and which is funny because if you look here, we had a lot of support at that $3,000 level, and well, that's exactly where we bounced off of that level. So even with that big sell-off, we still pulled back to support resistance. We respect that support and resistance. It's a real thing, right? Support, resistance. You got to understand it. You got to see where it's at. You got to know where it's at. You got to understand it. You got to trade it. So that was the move there on Ethereum the other day, dropping down there, and then now trying to push it back up, $3,500 on Ethereum. So Ethereum, Bitcoin, everything trying to make some bigger moves here this week, trying to push back up after that big sell-off and trying to rebound. So the question is this just kind of a rebound bounce? And then do we continue lower, or do we start to climb back to those highs? That'll be the $1 million question that everybody wants to know. So if you guys haven't already, do me one big favor, hit that like button, subscribe button, all the buttons down below. I will talk to you guys later on.